Hey guys, I am going to go over, I think I've got 3 problems that were asked of me yesterday. So one on the literal equations worksheet that I gave you, it was that nasty one with all the R's in the denominator, and then a couple of work rate problems that I was asked for. I did send worked out solutions, so make sure you check those if you're having trouble. I am happy to go over problems like this though, and number 4 was a good one. In fact, it was asked more than once. So Avery's going to get a shot of my paper. So this, you guys, is on that literal equations worksheet that came with the work rate problems, and it looks like my marker's wanting to be goofy with me. It's number 4, and I noticed it sure is being goofy. I noticed that some of you left it blank, and I understand why, because it looks funny. But what we're looking to do is solve for R2. Now, what I want you to recognize is on the right-hand side here, you have addition of fractions. So you have to have a least common denominator. And that LCD is going to be R1, R2. This fraction right here is missing the R2 in the denominator, so you'll multiply by R2 over R2. And this one's missing the R1, so you'll multiply by R1 over R1. Notice that I have left the left-hand side the same. I haven't done anything with that yet. But what we're going to end up with over here on top is R2 plus R1 all over R1 times R2, right? Your common denominator was R1, R2, and that's what we have. Now, what I have here is I've got one fraction set equal to another fraction. So what I would probably do in this case is cross multiply. So if I take 1 times R1, R2, and then over here I end up with RT times R2 plus R1, right? Cross multiplication. Now, we still have a problem because we want to get the R2 by itself, and I have it on two sides of the equal sign. So what you're going to have to do is distribute that RT through there. And again, I get that this all looks funny, but the mathematics behind it is no different than anything that you've done so far. So I distributed the RT. Now what I need to do is I need to get all of the parts that have the R2, all of the terms that have R2 on one side. So I am going to subtract RT, R2 from both sides, and over here I'm going to have RT, R1. And now what I'm going to do is factor out the R2. And then because I want the R2 by itself, I'm going to divide each side by that R1 minus RT. So you end up with, after all of that, R2 equals RT times R1 all over R1 minus RT. Looks funny. The math you guys absolutely know how to do. It's just that, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff and there's so many R's all over the place. So that's number 4. Now, I was also asked to do a couple of the work rate problems, like the last 2. I think is what we were looking for here. So let me go. I'm sorry, I'm on my computer. I'm looking for the work rate problems. And then, of course, you guys know me well enough to know I have to enlarge it so I can see something. Okay, so I think that what this person wanted were numbers 11 and 12. So number 11 said that one person can clean the house in 5 hours. If a second person helps to clean the house, the job can be done in 2 hours. So again, I would ask you guys to jot down what you've got over here. I have one person and then I've got another person. If the first person can clean the house in 5 hours, they can do 1/5 of the job in an hour. The second person, we don't know, and remember when we don't know, that's where you put your X. And this number that you're multiplying by is how long it takes them to do the job together. It takes them 2 hours to do the job together. So if you multiply 1/5 times 2, that's 2/5. 1 over x times 2 is 2 over x, and remember that those two people added together will get one whole job done. Now it just becomes a matter of solving the equation. I'm going to subtract 2/5 from both sides, and 1 minus 2/5 is going to give you 3/5, right? Because 1 is actually 5/5. And again, you've got one fraction set equal to another fraction. The easiest way to solve this problem is just cross multiplication. And so x is 3 1/3. Number 12. Same kind of thing. I don't know where these names came from, but there's Stilgar and Jameis. And Stilgar can mow the yard in 3 hours, so that means he can do 1/3 of a job in an hour. How long is it going to take Jameis? So 1 over x, and together they can mow the yard in 2 hours. 1/3 times 2 is 2/3. 1 over x times 2 is 2 over x, and the two of them together will get 1 whole job done. Subtract 2/3 from both sides, and you get 1/3. Cross multiply, and you get x equals 6. So if Jameis is doing the job alone, it will take him 6 hours. Hopefully these are the questions that you wanted answered. If you want another one worked out, shoot it to me in an email, and I will have my cameraman shoot another video. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Thanks.